Hi, welcome to today's episode of Make It Work. I am your host, Ochoba Okam Ochoba. Here in this program, Make It Work, we learn how to make anything work. So whether it is your business or your career or your marriage or your leadership, your venture, your pursuit, whatever it is that you want to make to work, here in this program, we learn exactly how to make it work. And today we'll be talking about openness in marriage. Openness in marriage. And one of the ways to make your marriage to work is to have openness in marriage. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 25, the Bible says, "And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and we are not ashamed." They were both naked, the man and his wife, and we are not ashamed. So that talks about openness in marriage. But just before we continue, there are three things that underscore openness in marriage. Many people are not open in their marriages because of either of these three. Number one is shame. Sometimes people feel that when they are open in their marriage, that they are going to face shame. Others feel that when they are open in their marriage, it could give them guilt. So some people, to others, it's disgrace. So shame, guilt, and disgrace are part of the reasons why people do not want to be open in their marriage. All right. Now, how do we achieve openness in marriage? Because for the marriage to work, we have to show openness in marriage, and openness in marriage will definitely, make the marriage to work. So, how do we achieve openness in marriage? Number one, you have to be open to yourself. Now, most people are not open to themselves. People still lie to themselves. People still lie to themselves, and people don't tell themselves the truth. To the extent that you do not tell yourself the truth, to the extent that you have not told yourself the truth, to the extent that you are not willing to tell yourself the truth, then you are not even open to yourself. And it's very difficult for anyone who is not open to himself to be open to anyone. That is it. So learn to be open to yourself. It's very important that you are open to yourself. You tell yourself the truth. You open up to yourself. You are not ashamed of yourself. You don't feel disgraced by yourself, with yourself. And you don't feel any kind of shame, disgrace, or any kind of attack. So you learn openness in marriage by being open to yourself. Now, the other way you could actually achieve openness in marriage is to make openness in marriage a task. Now, if openness in marriage is one of the things you want to achieve in marriage, then it should be stated that's one of the things that you are pursuing. The man and the wife have to make openness in marriage a task and should work towards achieving it. This is very, very important. So openness in marriage should be a task, and the man and the wife should work towards achieving them. All right, the next thing you can do in order to achieve openness in marriage is to choose inner or inward openness over mere appearances. Now, many people would just want to demonstrate, openness in marriage at the outward level. For instance, when people are there and when it is a public show, then you see them demonstrate openness in marriage. But the truth is that inward and within the backyard of the marriage, you don't see openness in the marriage. So please openness in marriage should be more of something that exists between you and your spouse other than a public show. So when we stop making openness in marriage a matter of open show and begin to domesticate it within the confinement of our marriages and our homes, then you see that openness in marriage will begin to come alive in us. Now, several people who are very religious, people go to church or go to offices and several open places and public places, and then they begin to demonstrate some kind of openness. And while when the real issues and the issues of openness show up within their marital space, you see that the people will be found wanting. Again, the next way we can achieve openness in marriage is to be as physically naked to our spouses in every aspect of our life. So it's important that we thrive and we work towards achieving openness in marriage, to our spouses in every aspect of our lives. And then finally, to achieve openness in marriage, we must begin to learn how to work hard to earn the openness that we need from our spouses. Now, this is important because openness in marriage usually brings about shame, guilt, and disgrace. So there has to be this security that your openness to your spouse is not going to be bringing shame, guilt, or disgrace. So it's very important that we make efforts to end them. And you need to understand that for you to be open in your marriage, it's important that you earn it. You have to demand as much openness from your spouse as much you are willing to be open. When you claim openness and you are not actually open, then you don't have any moral right or obligation to demand the same. So you need to work hard in that direction. Again, just before we conclude, it's important that if you are in discussing openness in marriage, one of the cardinal points that you must take home is the need to cover or protect your spouse's nakedness. Yes, openness in marriage insists and demands that you be able to protect your spouse or cover your spouse's nakedness. And that's part of the ways to earn openness. And that's part of the ways to be able to guarantee, cooperation in the issue of openness in marriage. I believe that you have learned one or two things that can enhance your marital relationship and definitely help you to make your marriage work. Thank you for being part of today's episode. And until I come your way again, I remain your host, Ochoba Okam Ochoba. Thank you for listening.